Example 3. Using a divided difference table, find the polynomial which passes through the points 2 minus 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, and 7, 16. So we have 4 points. N equal 3. So based on the table, we know that f of si equals fsi for I equals 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then we can find all the divided differences using the formula f si at j equals f of si plus 1 sj minus f of si hj minus 1 divide by hj minus si. Right. So with it, we can see f x0 equals f x0 equals minus 2. F x1 equals f x1 equal 3. F x2 equals f x2 equal 9. And f x3 equal f x3 equals 16. Right. So the second, this is the zero derivative. Now the first derivative, f x0 x1. This one, using the formula, we see xi xj is I equals 0, j equal 1. So this one equal f x1 minus f x0 divided by x1 minus x0. Right? So f x1 3, f x0 minus 2 divided by x1 minus x2. So x1 is 3, x0 is 2. So 3 minus 2. So this one equals 5. Right. F x1 x2. So similar, f x2 minus f x1 over x2 minus x1. So now f x2 9 minus f x1 is 3 over x2 minus x1. So 6 minus 3. So this one equals 2. F x2 x3 equal f x3 minus f x2 over x3 minus x2. Right? So 16 minus 9 over 7 minus 6. This equal 7. So this is the first derivative. Now the second derivative. So right, second derivative we can write f x0 x1 x2. This one equals, you see, this one now f x1 x2 minus f x0 x1 divide x2 minus x0. So f x1 x2 is 2 minus f x0 x1 is 5. Divide x2, so x2 is 6 minus x0 is 2. This one give the answer 0.75. Then f x1 x2 x3 equals f x2 x3 minus f x1 x2 over x3 minus x1. So f x2 x3 is 7. f x1 x2 is 2. x3 is 7. x1 is 3. This one gives the answer 1.25. Right. So this is the second derivative. Now the third derivative. You see f x0 x1 x2 x3 equals f x1 x2 x3 minus f x0 x1 x2 divided by x3 minus x0. So if you look at the pattern, you can see that to find the third derivative, we can use this one, then minus this one. And then divide by what? Divide by this one minus this one. Right. So to find the third derivative, we use x1, f of x1 to x3 minus f of x0 to x2. Divide by what? x3 minus x1. Just look at the formula. This is easy to remember. So this one equals, so f x1, x2, x3, compute here, 1.25. f x0, x1, x2 is minus of 75 divided by x3, 7, minus x1 is 2. So this one got the answer 0.4. Right. So we got the first derivative, second derivative, third derivative. So the coefficients A0 equal f x0 equals, so fx0 here, fx0 is minus 2. A1 equal fx0 x1, so this one equals fx0 x1 is 5. A2 is fx0 x1 x2, so fx0 x1 x2 is minus 0.75, and then A3 equal x0 x1 x2 x3, this one is 0.4, right? So on the coefficient we have, from here we see that we can put everything into the table. So how to do that? So that's the divided different table, right? So we can see this one xi, so 20i, so 0 1 2 3, so x0 is 2, x1 is 3, x2 is 6, x3 is 7. Now the first derivative, the zero derivative is equal y, right? So mean that f x0, this one we know this is minus 2, f x1 is 3, f x3 sorry, f x2 is 9, and f x3 is 16. The first derivative, we got what? F x0 x1 equals 5. F x1 x2 equal to f x2 x3 equals 7. The second derivative, we got f x0 x1 x2 is equal minus 0.75. F x1 x2 x3, this one equals 1.25. And the third derivative, so this one f x0 x1 x2 x3 is 0.4. Right. So from here we can see that the diagonal is the coefficient we are looking for. So now to form the polynomial P3x equals summation of I from 0 to 3 of AI, PI, X. Right. So this one equal what? Right. This one equal A0 plus A1 x minus x0 plus A2 x minus x0 x minus x1 plus A3 x minus x0 x minus x1 x minus x2. Right, so this one equals A0 is minus 2, A1 is 5, x minus x0 is minus 2, A2 is minus 0.75, x minus x0 is 2, x minus x1 is 3. Then plus A3 is 0.4, x minus 2, x minus 3, x minus 6. So simplify this one, will give you the answer 2/5 x power 3 minus 103 x squared over 20 plus 463x over 20 and minus 309 over 10. You see the formula we are looking for. Thank you.